FIC2016 Frenz International Cup reaches the semi-final stages. And there's a match that gets the mouth-watering. Estudiantes de LaPlata from Argentina against Japan's Kashima Antlers. We're at the Stadium Pasir Gudang in Johor, which has been one of the two venues alongside Stadium UTM for this first the semi-finals. This and the second semi-final, plus the finals, will be held here. They take place on Wednesday. Let us just talk you through how this has gone so far. And 8 teams were invited to this Frenz International Cup. Estudiantes played 3-1-3. They won a cracking match against Frenz United by 2-0. So it's Estudiantes and Frenz who qualified from Group A. All the matches were played here in Pasir Gudang. So Estudiantes qualify as group winners, which means they would play the runners-up of Group B. Frenz United involved later on tonight against International. Kashima Antlers, runners-up in Group B. Chonburi from Thailand, they were the team that missed out. Besiktas, they scratched because they walked off the pitch in their first game. Therefore, all of their games were null and void. What that means is that we have got a semi-final lineup that really is quite mouth-watering. Estudiantes versus Kashima, Argentina versus Japan. That's coming up now. Brazil versus Frenz United. That is coming up 8:30 tonight. That is also live on these networks. Our focus, though, is on Estudiantes versus Kashima Antlers, and the teams arrived into a searingly hot Pasir Gudang just a few minutes ago, and Alistair Edwards, the sports director of Johor Darul Taksim, alongside me. And we keep talking about the weather, but it is a factor in these games, Alistair.
It is, and you see that the Estudiantes coaches have really rotated the squad very, very well, and what a cracking game looking forward to today. Kashima Antlers, some good football from Japan against Estudiantes, who consider themselves to be favourites in their own minds to win this tournament.
Yeah, they've won 3 out of 3, have Estudiantes, including a clean sheet against Frenz United. Let's see what their coach, Gustavo Salinas, has to say.
Ha sido importante, ha mejorado partido a partido. Y bueno, estamos ilusionados con poder continuar con esta senda de rendimientos y resultados sobre todo.
I've gotten better match by match, okay? So we have the motivation to get better, even better today, to be ready for the final.
Sí, de todas maneras no fueron fáciles los partidos que hemos jugado en fase de grupo. Han tenido toda su dificultad. Y creemos que por lo que hemos visto del rival de hoy nos vamos a encontrar con un partido sumamente difícil, un equipo muy ordenado y que tiene mucha dinámica.
We got the results and in the group stage, but it was not easy. It was difficult. It was harder than we were expecting. And now Kashima, we know how they play. We have saw them. It's going to be a very difficult match as well.
All right, thanks guys.
Yet to concede a goal so far, Estudiantes. Kashima Antlers, in the meantime, they were beaten once against International, but they put up a really good fight at the game that took place at UTM. And we've seen a few of these boys before. They played in the Asian International Challenge at the tail end of last year. So, Alistair, they're no pushover whatsoever, our Kashima.
No, they're the shining beacons. Japanese football is fantastic in Asia. Estudiantes have got a great youth development focus as well, but the Japanese, you see in their warm-up, they were absolutely fantastic. Little war cries they were singing as well, so I'm looking forward to this one big time.
Once again, let's catch up with the coaching staff. This is Koji Kumagai, the head coach of Kashima Antlers.
相手が素晴らしいチームだと思いますが、あまり臆することなく精一杯戦っていきたいなというふうに思っています。
We are very happy to meet a very good player from overseas, but we may make an effort to play again.
予選リーグも非常にいいチームが揃ってましたんで、なかなか勝ち切るというところまでいきませんでしたけれども、それなりの内容で戦うことができたというふうに思っています。
I think this until semi-final is you selected a very exclusive team, so maybe we are not really satisfied, but as far as this game is, we are satisfied now.
Slight distraction for us there, Alistair. You know Hero very well. Stay to the pitch though here. He'll be having kittens.
Yeah, he will. He usually loves it to be carpet clean, but the thing is, he's a really, really top bloke, and we call him the unofficial ambassador for Johor, for the Japanese, and a great guy. Looking forward to watching these team in action.
Well, that is the stadium. Coming up just after a very short break, we have got the first semi-final. Kashima Antlers up against Estudiantes. That's next. Fourth edition of the Frenz International Cup has reached the semi-final stages. This under-19 tournament, which is for invited teams from across the globe, sees Argentina's Estudiantes taking on Kashima Antlers right here at Stadium Pasagudang in Johor. It's great to get these international fixtures in Malaysia, and an opportunity also for Kamruzaman Said to referee in such a big event. The sports director of Johor Darul Taksim and a former player, Alistair Edwards, is covering this match for, well, the whole competition, Alistair, and you've liked what you've seen about Estudiantes, but we don't know a lot about Kashima because they haven't been in front of the TV cameras.
Yeah, exactly, but let's make no bones about it. The Japanese are traditionally fantastic in the youth development. They've only narrowly lost in the tournament. They've played some really good football, and on the flip side to that, the Estudiantes haven't conceded a goal yet, have been immense. Got some fantastic individual players, but they know that they'll be up into a very, very difficult game today against the powerhouse of Asian football in terms of youth development in the Kashima Antlers from Japan.
The Kashima in the all-white shirts, the Japanese, and they lost just the one game. They beat Chonburi of Thailand and lost to Internacional en route to the semi-finals. The match against Besiktas was sadly called off because Besiktas went home, but it means that this is their third real tournament, and in many ways it might mean they are fresher. We've looked at the Estudiantes side, and they're missing one or two of the star names, like of Emmanuel Souza, who we've really liked the look of.
Yeah, the coach has really rotated the squad well. The first game they played with a very, very convincing win. The second game they played a completely different team, and the third game they went back, reverted to the first team, and now they've picked players on, I think, the conditions, the weather, on form. And there's a number of players we'll talk about when the lineup comes up that are not in the starting 11, who I think will have a big impact in the second half.
As for Kashima Antlers, well, we did see a little bit of them in the Asia Friends Challenge, where they were competitive. They played neat and tidy football, but they weren't the most physically strong side. And you compare this Argentine side, and there's some big boys in that team, particularly Barrera up front.
Yeah, that's for sure. They can play some exceptional football, the guys on screen now, but when it means to mix it up, they can do it very well. But the philosophy in Japan is they have said that they're never going to be able to really compete in the physical sense. They want to try and make sure that the ball does all the work, and they'll be up for it today because the Argentinians are experts at closing things down and making sure that they cause problems for the way they want to play.
Naisuke Imura is the captain for the visitors. This is the Friends starting lineup, and they've mixed and matched from the teams that really started, but Carlo Latanzio, he has probably been the star name so far, wide out on the left, although not far behind it will be Ivan Gomez in the heart of midfield.
Yep, they're like I say, a very, very accomplished team. They play a 4-2-3-1 system. They utilise the wings extremely well. I was quite surprised that Montiel, the number 19, hasn't started. He usually starts on the right-hand side. I think that's due to the fact that he's been very instrumental in the early days. The coach on screen now, Gustavo Salinas. wily character, has been very, very much involved in the youth development in Argentina for a long time, and so he's made a correct decision so far.
Isuzu is probably the main man, the number 9, Hayato Isuzu. He's the main striker. They don't seem to have an awful lot of strike force going forward. Shinozaka will probably play in a number 10 role rather than the 4-4-2 that we're seeing here, but physically I'm concerned about this team.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to match it physically, but what they'll try and do is maintain possession and try and tire out the Estudiantes players, and that's a philosophy that the Japanese really abide by and really put it out. Koju Kamage, the head coach, he was saying that they haven't really hit their straps yet, and they're looking to do this in the semi-final just now.
Conditions are overcast. There's a nice breeze going from left to right as we look at the substitutes bench and look at Souza, who can come on and certainly turn things around. Matias Aquino, a holding midfielder, as is Franco Savetti. Indeed, on the bench, Souza's probably the one outstanding attacking player, although we didn't see the whole list. Montiel, I think, is on the bench down below us.
He is. Montiel's on the bench, and Souza's also on the bench, number 10, but also their attacking left back in Leon, who's I think you'll see those guys make a appearance in the second half.
So it's Kashima looking to get us underway. Delayed start, Isuzu, and they immediately go long. Nishimoto is looking for the early ball into Sudo, and already there's a mismatch in terms of height. Estudiantes, it is an older team that they've got here. It is an under-19 tournament, and most of the Kashima players are under 18, so 17 and 18 years of age.
And it makes a difference at this level. Perth Glory came with a lot of players that were 14, 15 years old trying to play against under-19s, and they got a rude learning curve from those experiences. But it makes a big difference.
Kimura was first in there, and Bruera was a little bit too heavy on the shoulder.
Both teams like to play good, attractive football, and if you allow them to play good, attractive football, they'll tear you apart. So I just think the Estudiantes will really close the Japanese Kashima Antlers down to try and stop them getting into their rhythm.
Ishikawa's kick forward against the red and blue backdrop. Isuzu, he loses out to Gomez, trying to win it back, but a trip from Isuzu.
You see players in these early stages, they want to try and make sure that they impose themselves, particularly in the midfield areas. The patterns won't become apparent for another 10 minutes or so. It's often quite frantic in the early starts of the game. Both teams sizing each other out.
One foot to Latanzio. This is the exciting man. Lovely ball in from Latanzio. Dealt with by Mizuzaki. As far as Gomez. Adin looks the far post and an early goal. Apollosa inside 2 minutes, and the big centre forward has delivered.
Not the greatest of start that you want from Kashima Antlers, but a hallmark of that, playing the ball in, and look at the ball in there, and Apollosa just gets in between and just guides the ball past the keeper. The keeper can do anything about that, but it's a perfect ball and a really good guided header past the keeper, and a great start for Estudiantes.
His second goal of the tournament. Both headers from within the 6-yard box, and that's what the dual centre forward system is all about.
They've sort of tweaked their system somewhat to put Guerrero and Apollosa, and that early ball is sort of signals their intention, because you can see the back four of the Japanese aren't the tallest.
Anyways, you need your goalkeeper to do an awful lot of gambling, coming out to try to pick up the loose balls. Muda caught in possession. Latanzio. Here is Edin, who got forward to deliver the cross. Mumada. And Mumada's got to the byline. He's looking for Bruera. Well to clear, but it's a bright start from Estudiantes. Carrasco loses out in the middle of the pitch. Foyth header, gets some clearance.
Very, very bright start from the Argentinians, and you can see straight away they're not letting the Japanese get calm on the ball at all.
We saw a similar start from Estudiantes in the first of the group games against Suwon Blue and Samsung.
Scored 4 in the first 30 minutes.
Oh, it's a crack to the ankles. You may well beat me in the air, but I'll bring you down like an oak tree, my friend.
This time, Almada tries to flick it past him and gets his legs taken out. And sometimes you have to do that as a defender, just to make them realise that they're not going to have all their own way.
Cynic, Mr. Edwards. Nakamura it was. All it's done is it's invited the high ball coming in. Barrera's up there, Aplaza's up there. Adin's dropped in, Latanzio's good in the box. Foyth has gone up as well. Foyth wasn't able to keep it in. The keeper did gamble on that occasion, Ishikawa, but didn't get there.
Just got to be careful for that, because you've got to make sure your keeper comes out there and commanding. He went out there and really flapped it, didn't he? Just got to make sure he's a lot more assured when he comes out for the ball, because then it relaxes his back four in the defensive unit.
I don't think there's a single header in this first 5.5 minutes or so, and it must be 6 or 7 headers that Kashima have won.
It's a good point, because when people always talk about the Brazilians and the Argentinians and South Americans, how good they are with the ball, a lot of people forget how good defensively they are. Really, the important things extremely well. That's hitting the ball, tackling, and closing players down.
So throw in for Kashima after that dreadful start. Possession with Sudo, loses out to Latanzio. Diaz. Barrera onto Foyth. Gomez always wants to start things, and there's a DNA about Argentine football. It's the 4-3-3. There's always a holding midfielder.
Someone who can play extremely well, like Gomez does, but also he can mix it up when necessary and spoils things. Like here, he comes in here and he spoils the game, and you can say it's a kind of a professional foul. And he rolls around a bit, but basically they're very instrumental. They usually have a good number 10 who plays in behind as an attacking player, but also a holding midfielder who really stops the play and disrupts the opponent's attacks.
Chance though for Kashima to maybe exert a little bit of pressure. Some real holding on the edge of the box. Foyth trying to hold off Yamuda. We just saw there that Estudiantes were just physically bigger and stronger than Kashima.
What I like about the Argentinian football, and as you can see at JDT, we've got a strong influence of Argentinian footballers, because when it means that they know how to win, they really know they can just put players that can turn things when they need to, players can rough it up when they need to. Just so many talented players that come out of that country. And you'll see a lot here is that the hallmark of this team as well is the two centre-backs getting on the ball. Good passes of the ball, just like in here. The bobbly pitch.
Hero.
Where is he? Yeah, you're right, he'll be like. But the thing is, it's going to be a good month to settle because of the. What's that?
Barrera's onside. Latanzio making a real effort to get in. Good goalkeeping. Ishikawa, aggressive goalkeeping.
Very, very good there, but some great work there from Barrera. Bursting down the right-hand side, knocks a steaming ball in there, and yeah, that's really good goalkeeping. Attacking the ball. Copybook from the keeper, Ishikawa.
Barrera wins another header. Up full by Nakamura.
But look at that. Heading just like you mentioned, they're winning every single header, every single 50-50.
There's the captain, Masoya Edetsu, who's great when the ball's on the floor, but he's got to get in possession first. Rera. Was shielding it with his hands.
So you see the idea from Estudiantes is to put the two big guys up front so they can get the ball, they can hold it up, bring the other players into it. But to me, the hallmark of really all the teams in the tournament, the really top teams, is their wing play. You know, Montiello's not playing today, but you'll see that Carlo Lantanzia, Matias Ahamada, they try and get the ball in behind them diagonally.
Edetsu. Adding very close to Edetsu.
It's a great job. Really do not let them try and face it. Trying to make a force a line. Here you go, the ambush.
Gomez in quickly. Jumped in challenge from Sudo. I'm talking to.
Like you mentioned before, that's Gomez, who's patrolling in front of the back four and comes along to assist defensively.
Got to feel some sympathy there for Sudo. Let's have a look at the early ball in from Aiden and Abulazar on the far post.
Yeah, look at that. You've got the two strikers, one coming into the near post area, in between the strikers, the other one in the far post area. Just managed to inch perfect ball into there. Two strikers coming in, very hard to defend against with balls like that.
Back live, this is Ahumada. Couldn't keep it alive. It's a throw into Kashima. Edetsu. For Ishizu. Easily held off by Foyth, and Cabrera starts the move once again. This is Diaz. Ishimoto developing the little space in front of his back four.
I have to say that Salinas Gustavo, the coach of Estudiantes, has got his tactics 100% right so far in the game. You see when they're attacking, they've got four strikers right there, the two wingers and the two centre forwards, and here we go, trying to make sure they can try and capitalise.
Carrasco's long ball just too far for Barrera.
They didn't do that in the earlier games. They played it out, they tried to make sure they kept possession, used the wings. But they've seen some vulnerability in the central defence of Kashima.
Interesting that they're varying so much. I mean, wouldn't you want an under-19 team to have a DNA, a certain style of playing, or are they just at that age where they're advancing into secondary and tertiary formations?
I think the latter. This is the under-19s, 21s. That's one of the debates we've had within our system in Australia as well. Is do you keep it all the way through? But you can see this tournament they've played 4-3-3. They've played 4-2-3-1. They've played 4-5-1 when necessary. They've been direct when they have to be. They've played their conditions extremely well. When it's wet, Perth Glory got smacked in one of the earlier games because they tried to play football when the field was just full of puddles. But I think it's all about the education part. They've got the technique, played in the Favalas when they're growing up. Their skill is absolutely fantastic. This type of ability to cross-field ball and then win the second ball in here, the combinations.
Ahumada. Just nicked from him by Arakawa. Ahumada, I think, felt that from Arakawa.
And when you're tweaking the DNA, I'll speak of that in a minute, but here you've got a situation here that's really good, no malice intended in that. You guys, hang on, you just kick my mate, I'm going to make you wherever. But when you've got the DNA, they've got it, but they tweak it just by a little bit. And what they've done, they've taken off Sosa, who is the playmaker behind, so they can do this. Well, that's not a great ball, but they've taken off Sosa, who used to play as a one in behind, either Apolloso or Barrera, but this time they said, no, we're going to try and tweak it a little bit initially and try and see if we can capitalise. The Japanese wouldn't have been expecting that. And then, but I can almost guarantee you, Sosa we'll see him later on in the game. Because he's the one who really made the team tick. But again, another header. again from the Argentinians.
Shearer loses out. Surrounded by 3 white shirts. Sudo does well, helped by Imura. Shearer.
Good bit of ambush defending there from the Japanese.
Foyth, and he finds Nishimoto. Nishimoto is blocked off by Diaz. Buero was trying to look for Latanzio, and Latanzio was taken out rather cynically for one so young by a combination of Sudo and Shearer.
Japanese have to defend in numbers, and they have to try and make sure they disrupt the rhythm. Both teams, you can tell, are excellent footballing teams and great technique. Just that, you mentioned earlier, it just seems to me the physicality of the Argentinians is showing, and just the general height as well. You can see him on the screen there.
That's an even better shot of it. Look at Pereira, he's a good foot taller than his marker, Hidetsu. Foyth is in there, Foyth is being picked up. Masazaki. Too close to the goalkeeper. You don't need to be so fancy when you've got that height advantage.
I think the coaches will be upset about that kind of thing, because it's all about delivery into the box. The goal from originally the ball into where Appaloosa scored was a fantastic cross, but that was just a poor effort.
Ahumada skips away from his man and then skips on the floor. Well, that's unfortunate. He's been given the foul because there clearly was no advantage, but
They've got the ability to players just to nick that ball past him, and Arakawa there. I think he tripped over one of those little bobbles, but he just tried to get his feet and just realised that ball. He's actually tripped over himself there, isn't he? He should have went down earlier.
not mental that. He's okay. Hero is pulling his hair out. But it's a free kick, and this is the kind of situation Latanzio will be aiming for, that little corridor between 6 and 12 yards out. For Barrera to attack, for Matalaza to attack for his second. Foyth is in there as well. And Ishikawa's done well. Hidetsu has been able to half clear it.
Estudiantes are washing the game like they have done in the previous three.
Ahumada.
It's a tired little cross there from Ahumada. Early in the tournament, he was going past players and things, but you've got to realise that this is their fourth game in every second day. The pitch isn't the greatest, but those kind of balls, that's some really good goalkeeping from Ishikawa once again. And not a bad delivery into the box.
Shimazaki helped it on. Hidetsu only hack it forward, and they really haven't been able to get any of the ball, have the Kashima Antlers juniors. Maybe Sudo can start things up, finds Rio Shearer. Sudo, Shearer.
Didn't need to play that forward. He had Nishimoto to just roll the ball to left and get a bit of possession. That's what they need, because they haven't been able to get any meaningful possession in the early stage of this game. Well over 15 minutes gone. The game has settled down there. You can see the patterns evolving.
Adin.
Centre-back's getting time on the ball, all calm. Gomez always making himself available. And again, a game plan for the first stage of this game from Estudiantes is to get the ball. Big guys up front.
Ahumada. Ahumada just a little bit on the back. He's not having the happiest of couple of minutes, is Ahumada. Time it's a clump of grass rather than a clump of sand that thwarts him. Arakawa is pulled back.
It's going to be a good battle between those two. Arakawa knows he's got a player that will want to run at him, and he's going to try and make sure that he just doesn't let him get into his thing, because the wingers, once they get into full flight, they get a bit of confidence going. They're hard to stop.
Sudo. He's away from the ball with Ruera. Idetsu. Sudo's carried on his run. Strong enough.
Great defending, showing him one way towards the line, just capitalising that little half a bad touch. But you can see off screen they're fully utilising the whole field, left and right, and they'll start here, and I would lay money on it. They're going to try and get the ball switched over to the other side.
There is Foyth. Money is in peril here, old chap. There's Gomez. Cabrera.
There it is.
There he goes. Not the best ball from Cabrera. Narakawa can just let it slide back again. Put that pass largely down to the pitch because the standing foot went from him.
You see they're trying to set things up and then either hit it diagonal in between the left or the right hand side.
Idetsu with skills but loses out. Apalaza. Carrasco stands on the ball. Idetsu can pick up the second ball. Nishimoto. Gomez just slides in. Lattanzio. Lattanzio's ball to Apalazoa.
Every single time they get that ball won in that central midfield area, the Japanese cannot get any real meaningful possession. So when they get it, the Estudiantes, they just one touch and knock it into the two strikers up front. Try and get in behind them.
Shinozaki chases a lost cause. Well, they conceded after 2 minutes. They've had a couple of semi-scares since then at Kashima, but otherwise playing themselves into the game.
Yeah, they're starting to get a little bit time more on the ball. Like here, they're not in a hurry to go forward. They're setting things up as Estudiantes. The Japanese have got to do a similar thing.
Foyth. Adin available if he wants it to the right. Here is Adin. Nothing on, so Foyth is the starter again.
It's incredible how many times Foyth and Cabrera will be on the ball, the centre backs.
Diaz long ball. Ishikawa again, right to the edge of his penalty area. Having not come for the first ball, he's learned his lesson as the goalkeeper.
Yep, and modern day goalkeepers have to act a bit like a sweeper. And he's reading the patterns of what's happening, and he sees they're trying to get the ball in behind them often.
Diaz, Lattanzio, Carrasco. The best ball from Carrasco, picked up by Shinozaki. Kashima in the white, scrapping for possession. Gomez, Estudiantes comes backwards, and Foyth, the two centre-backs again, starting things off. Adin, Afumada, Carrasco. Scored an important goal, Carrasco, against Perth Glory, just around about the hour mark, where the young Perth team had really frustrated Estudiantes. Afumada, Carrasco again. This first name of Geronimo Carrasco. And Ruera is a little bit too quick in on Imuda.
Strikers want to try and get on the ball as much as possible, waiting for that ball to come in, and sometimes they just get a bit frustrated. That time it showed from Ruera.
Idetsu with the challenge. Ahumada helps out Adin. Gomez. Little triangles all over the pitch. He had two options on. Cabrera, he had two options on as well. Picked out the long one, Lattanzio. Into Carrasco. Lattanzio, Diaz outside of him. Juan Diaz scored the first goal against Suwon. Looks for Bruera. That's really good defending from Nakamura.
Excellent defending. Used the body extremely well against a taller person. Really didn't have any opportunities to really attack that ball.
6 fouls apiece, possessional stats close to 60% Estudiantes.
It's been a good possession stats in terms of where they've had the ball as well. Very effective.
Sire Idetsu gets to the byline. Idetsu's ball is picked up by Foyth. Arakawa. Again, the pitch. Think of those 13 fouls, 3 being by the pitch.
And again, you've got Arakawa and Natanzio. Oh, sorry, and Ahamada at it again. They're definitely going to be up and down together, but it's really good to see the Kashima Antlers really, for the first time in the game, put a bit of assertive pressure up front. Some good bit of wing play. It shows you when they get the ball in good areas, they've got the technique and the ability to go past players. And the interesting thing now is the delivery into the box. They're not the tallest, so they've got to make sure that they have the ball into the right areas.
Sudo is a mile offside. Arakawa is 6. They looked for the space where Sudo was. They kept it on the floor. Now, though, there's a breakaway. Carrasco. Apalaza ahead of him. Here is Apalaza. He switches. Just hacked clear by Idetsu. A quick break out there from Estudiantes.
Good counter-attack. Really good defending, actually. The white shirts of Kashima Antlers really scurried back to defend extremely well. The patterns again start from Estudiantes. Across the back 4 to Gomez. Trying to see which side they can get the diagonal ball into. You can see that off the screen the 2 strikers are saying, can you play the ball in? Kashima playing a rather height line, pushing him up.
Carrasco looks for the diagonal. There's Bruera. Apalaza. Will be a goal kick, but there's the long ball. When they do get the diagonal right, it can be very effective.
Having seen them, this is the 4th game I've seen them play, and it's the first time they've actually come to this approach. So it's just purely tactical for a while. I doubt they'll do it for the whole game, but that's a really good ball. Good cushion header there from Barrera. Shows the effectiveness of this against a smallish defence.
Arakawa. Idetsu again. Good skills, but the side of the pitch. We've got an injury to Francesconi, the goalkeeper for Estudiantes. Didn't see anything significant. He didn't come for a cross.
Anything at all to give the rest of the field players an opportunity to get some refreshments, but they seem to be in some pain, a bit dizzy. They want to get a bit of water.
It's one of the cooler days here. A couple of days ago you can say, yeah, dizziness could well affect you.
Yeah. I think you might find, because I saw a bit of smile on his face when he got up. A bit of acting.
Ah, that's right, they didn't give the water break, did they? And Estudiantes are complaining about that. So let's take an unofficial water break.
Approaching the 30th minute mark, and to be fair, the water break is needed. Having played in these conditions, it's very, very taxing. You lose a lot of fluid. I used to lose 3.5 to 4 kilos every game, and I couldn't afford to do that when I was a young whippersnipper.
Still can't, Alistair, still can't. Francesconi, he's okay, and we are back. Water break, official or not, underwent.
Speaking, we mentioned before with Veron and company, we're here because he's the president of this club, Estudiantes. He was very singing praises for a number of these players. So they're going to go on to really big things. 2 of them are on the bench. This man on the ball, Ardin, is one I've been really impressed with this tournament.
Here he is coming forward. It's his cross that sets up the first goal. Pereira does well. Latanzio just hangs it up too high. The ball for Ishikawa. And Latanzio hasn't really got going today, Carlo Latanzio.
Nope. No, he hasn't. The balls into the box haven't been good at all, but traditionally the wing play has been fantastic. And that's probably what Gustavo, the coach, was hoping. You don't want to get those balls from too deep, because they are, even though you're up against the smaller teams, if the ball's coming in from too deep, it's a lot easier to defend. This is what's happening at the moment. You've got to get the wing players more involved.
Nishimoto did well originally. Netsu helps it forward. Approaching the half hour, Estudiantes 1, Kashima Antlers 0. The early goal from Juan Apolaza. Header in the 3rd minute.
You see the red and white shirts around the ball.
Apolaza wasn't too thrilled with the challenge from Ishizu.
They're going to try and use their body. And of course, anything that they're pretty good at, making sure they can, we say, milk the challenge. And he gets up straight away, but it's having the ability to make sure they can close the game down and make sure the game is, the flow of the game stops. It's really good. Bit of skill there.
Latanzio held off by Rio Shearer, who realised he'd been done by the dummy.
The awareness of the players is fantastic. They know when to use their body, when to flick around the corner.
Just look at that shirt on Sudo, swamping the little fella. Latanzio. Diaz gone outside of him. It is Diaz. Bruera. Big and strong Bruera. Not big and strong enough.
He's done it a number of times in the tournament when the ball comes to him in the feet. He's really, really strong. Turns on a sixpence. Scored a great goal in one of the earlier games by doing exactly that.
Cabrera. Composed play.
Yep.
To the goalkeeper Francesconi, who's hardly had a touch so far. Foyth will once again start again. I'd love to know how many touches the two centre-backs have had between them.
Yep. Modern day footballers, they need to be good ball-playing centre-backs, because they're the ones that really orchestrate. Can they play? Can they run forward with the ball? Can they play those little defence-splitting passes in the midfield? There you go. You'll get the ball and carry it into their midfield area. Support from behind.
Target that time was Apolaza.
And you wouldn't want that, because the ball coming from near the halfway line with the keeper right out in the edge of the 18-yard box. They're just really, that's poor football. Just hit and hopeful into the box. You know, the tactics are right when in certain moments, but that kind of moments has been about 4 or 5 times where they've just literally used a long ball to bad effect.
Sudo wins the throw-in. Not having really threatened. You can certainly see the Kashima are coming back into this. Possessional stats still 58-42, but getting a little movement on the ball. Cabrera's having to work a little bit harder defensively. Shizu did well. Finds Sudo. The pressure from Gomez. Sudo eventually gets the free kick. Not sure how much there was there from Gomez. Sudo is winded. A free kick in a decent area here for Kashima.
He definitely clawed the way back. Look at that. He's trying to use his strength. He got the referee to judge, so the linesman actually had to flag up. He judged, he pulled his shirt earlier on. But to me, that was just good defending. And again, it's that Ivan Gomez, the captain, leading by example. Because he's there left and right. He's really helping. He's the one who comes along when they're holding up the defenders. Or the attackers, I should say. And he's the one who comes along and ambushes and often gets a tackle.
This will be interesting. They've been on the back foot for much of the first 33 minutes. You can see they've got, I wouldn't call them the big guys, but the guys who are a little bit bigger than the rest. The Imuras, the Nakamura, Suzuki.
And they've got set plays because they haven't got the biggest guys up there, so they either, like they did with the first one, they've got to be careful with the counter-attack for one. If they lose it, they're going to be caught on the break. But secondly, they've got They really knock that ball into precise areas, or they've got a set, rehearsed one where they play the ball into someone.
Arakawa will take the set play. I'm sure Shinozaki was getting a talking to there from the referee. 2, 3, 4, 5 in the penalty area. Arakawa's ball. It was a set play, and all the while Shinozaki was trying to get free, and now Shinozaki got to track back because Voigt has done forward, finds Latanzio, and Latanzio keeps his feet and fires one just wide. Carlo Latanzio.
We just talked about it. They've got to make sure that they're precise, because they get caught on the counter-attack. Just exactly what happened. The ball was played into there to Shinozaki, and he just couldn't get it. But after that, look at the ball coming here to Shinozaki into that space, but it was well read, and there they are on the break. Fantastic, really explosive out through there, and the ball's split through, and he uses the pace to go past, and could have went down for a free kick, but knocks it past the keeper, and that could very easily nestled into the back of the net. There's twice now they've been caught on when they've been at their most attacking, been caught in the break, and almost resulted in 2 goals.
The glimpse there of Carlo Latanzio. He's adding Ahumada. Trying to get to the byline. Abdulaza. Adin loses out. Shinozaki will chase. Cabrero. I think he was trying to do a little Cruyff turn there, wasn't he?
He was. Japanese players a bit of discomfort. Got flicked or whacked in an area where you don't want to be whacked.
It's a diminutive Nishimoto. All his players take the opportunity to come to the byline and pick up some liquid.
It's good to get something, but when the Japanese have had 2 opportunities where they tried to execute some corner play, and they talk about it in the coaching manuals, how do you counter the counter? Because the Argentinians have countered, went on the counter-attack extremely fast and positive. And they've got to be able to make sure that they can defend better against that, Kashima Antlers, because they don't want to concede another goal before the half-time break. So they've got more of an amount to climb. Particularly with the players they've got on the bench who can come on for Estudiantes. But they're right. You mentioned about Kashima Antlers clawing their way in. They're getting a bit more confidence. They're playing a bit more in the forward third of Estudiantes.
Here's Latanzio. Into the final 10 minutes of the half. Gomez just trying to raise the pace a little bit. Adin started off very quickly, Estudiantes. Ahumada, give and go with Gomez. Arakawa tracked Ahumada well. It's good full-back play from Kotaro Arakawa.
Best battle going on in the park between those two.
Benedetsu loses out. Ahumada nearly breaks to Apolaza. Apolaza loses out on the byline.
Voigt, a really accomplished defender. That diagonal ball in back in the behind again.
Apolaza did well. Clear by Masuzaki. Arakawa not best clearance. Ahumada can attack Arakawa. He just lifts it to the far post. There were 2 shirts waiting there. Tanzio and Bruera. He went short.
That's one thing been missing from Ahumada this second half, is the ability to get that ball into the far post. Pick out someone who's always just managed to find the white shirt. Just needs to get a bit more strength in those legs. Tiredness or whatever, but there's been 4 or 5 opportunities there for him to link it in behind. over the top of the white shirts who are in the near post.
Carrasco's corner, off the post. Danger still not cleared. Ahumada. And clawed away by Ishikawa. But they were living dangerously. Post, goalkeeper, and one off the line has saved Kashima there.
Fierce corner coming in, saved by the post. Benistence, and they win the second ball. One shot on goal. Closed down by the Kashima defenders, and that tremendous shot, and an equally tremendous save by Ishikawa.
And then back live, the header was won in the air. I think it was Cabrera who got there first, but he couldn't direct it on target. So again, the aerial prowess of Estudiantes.
Yep. Some great balls into there. Free header, they need to make sure they at least put a challenge on there, but that's the difference really in the whole first half, has been the physicality. Japanese are trying to play intricate football when they get free kicks in the front third. Here they're trying to just knock the ball direct.
The Tanzio chasers. Shearer does well. Sudo can't hold off Diaz. Voigt has got Carrasco. 6-0 shots on goal. That's the attacking advantage. 60-40 the possessional advantage. 2 corners to naught. Interesting though, only 8 clearances required from balls into the penalty area. Carrasco. Nishimoto blocked. Adin. Hidetsu reacts first.
A lot of those times the balls have been played from too deep and been poor balls into the area, so they haven't had to do much.
Carrasco. Oh, flick forward.
But on the whole, considering the height difference and the amount of balls that have been bombarded into the box, you can say the Kashima Antlers defense of Masasuki and Nakamura, along with Shira and Irakawa, have done a pretty decent job.
He has just a little shove on the back of the hard-working Isuzu. Chinozaki. Well, this would be the perfect time to get a sucker punch in to absorb all that pressure. If Kashima can sneak a goal. It's not going to come from a long ball into the penalty area and a powerful header, though. Or maybe it is.
You doubt it very much. So you'll see that they're trying to manoeuvre the players as much as they can, because a long, hopeful ball into the box is just not. It's not going to work.
Arakawa with the potential delivery, looking for movement. It's gone to the back and it's nearly worked. Foyth is there to react to a fine jump from Nakamura, and then you've got the breakaway once again, which we've been warned about a few times. Not the best ball looking for Latanzio from Ahumada.
Again, been very impressed with the defensive work of Juan Foyth, the number 2 centre-back from Estudiantes. Really good in the air. His passing and his anticipation has been really good.
Cabrera. Latanzio manhandled to the floor. Adin. Ahumada.
Look at the speed of pass as well. It's not just knocking the ball slowly. The pass is zipped in there, just to make sure that you move the Japanese defenders a lot faster.
Even on a pitch that doesn't encourage that. Adin. He was trying to whip it across for Bruera. It was just about where he should be, just a couple of yards beyond the far post.
Just a metre or so higher than what he would have liked. But look at them now, they're squeezing right in. Estudiantes, all the players, to make sure it's difficult as anything for Kashima Antlers to try and play out. It's called pinning them in their own half.
Free kick has been won by Isuzu. So I'm going to put you in the manager's chair once again. Imagine you're Gustavo Salinas first, the coach of Estudiantes. Are you happy? You're frustrated? You haven't put this semi-final to bed yet?
Relatively happy with the game plan. The game plan has been followed to a T, and the question is now for him, is the game plan going to work in thing? Because I think at the moment they've really been able to, apart from the early part of the game where they managed to score the goal. We're going back to that in a minute.
Kushinazaki. It's an advanced area which we haven't been able to say often for Kashima. There's one throw in for Kashima.
Yeah, I would say that the coach, from my observations now, is becoming a little bit too predictable.
So you change it?
I would change it, and that's where I would bring the Sosa, the diminutive number 10.
Getsu loses out to Gomez. Kishimoto did well. Rudo lost out, and then run back by Tani Sudo. Looking like a dervish, but Carrasco's got free, and Letanjo made a great run. Got a deflection, and it's cleared by Ishikawa, but Letanjo's movement off the ball.
It was really good. The outside to in run, and then Carrasco was trying to thread it through. Yeah, that kind of ball into there now is just too predictable, and to be honest, the execution hasn't been great. So many times they've gone straight down the keeper's throat. But they have the ability to change it. Got the players on the bench and others who, for a little tactical change, just moving the pawns around a little bit, they should be able to dominate this game even more in terms of possession. But
here's Iretsu. Okay, you're now Koji Komagai in your best Japanese, please. Are you happy with what you've seen? What would you change?
I'll be very happy with what I've seen in terms, because they're up against a very, very physically strong team who are playing very direct football, and they're handling it very well. The only thing is that they probably just need to maintain possession a little bit more, not go forward as quick. But one thing about Japanese football, they won't change the way that they play. They'll keep it going. They believe in their philosophy. They believe that with possession, that things will open up and things will going to come. They probably need to make sure that they do a lot better with their set pieces, because the delivery and the passing and that, it hasn't been great. They've been caught. But I'd be pleased if I was him.
Shizu. Hidetsu. Final 30 seconds of the first half. Frenz International Cup semi-final. Estudiantes 1, Kashima Antlers 0. Coming up at 8:30, Frenz United against Sporting Club Internacional from Brazil, the defending champions of this tournament. Hidetsu. Lovely ball, and the shot comes in from Ishizu.
There's the point. You'd be relatively pleased because they've weathered the storm and they're starting to the last 10 minutes or so. This kind of play. Good defending once again. But Ishizu, at least he's had a shot on target, and this is how dangerous they can be by a little intricate passing.
Half-time whistle goes. Ishizu means that Kashima end the half on the front foot. They've been largely on the back foot. Apolaza, his goal as early as the 3rd minute, the only strike. Ishikawa has been solid under the high ball, has made a couple of decent saves. Half-time though here at Pasagurang, with highlights to come after a short break. Is Estudiantes de LaPlata 1, Kashima Antlers from Japan 0. Frenz International Cup from Pasagudang in Johor. It is the semi-final. Estudiantes de LaPlata from Argentina 1, Kashima Antlers 0 is the half-time score. A deserved lead, and the goal came as early as the 3rd minute. One Apolaza on the end of the cross in from Adin and Alistair Edwards. I think they expected a continual bombardment and an avalanche of goals after that.
Yep, they would have done their video analysis, and these type of balls the Japanese traditionally have struggled to defend against, and that was a great ball in by Adin, and an equally good header. He directed it past the keeper, but that's the kind of thing they've done a lot in this first half, and it worked in the early stages, but as the game's progressed, it hasn't worked as well.
Let's have a look at the analysis of the space. Firstly, he got to put the cross in, and then the not tight marking of Apolaza.
Yeah, because you've got two centre forwards here, and they're trying to make sure they attack the space in between the defenders, and that, to be honest, is almost half a goal with that kind of ball going in there. It was perfect. It was a great weight right in between the two defenders, and it's one of those things. Delivery is so crucial.
Latanzio there with one of the few other deliveries, and that's the question I'm going to pose to you. You're big into youth development. Why wasn't there more delivery like this on the one for the goal in the remaining 45 minutes of that half?
Yeah, exactly. People talk about, they said that professionals like the delivery here. That's the kind of thing we really struggle, because you have to look at the counter attack here, and great run forward, and that ball through was fantastic, and then little chip, and you've almost got the ball. You're just about to score a goal, and you just within 15 seconds you're about to concede to make it 2-0.
So Carlo Latanzio on the left-hand side there. He's been a little bit quieter than he has been in the whole tournament. Stayed on his feet well. Note that Mr. Pepe stayed on his feet and was able to get the shot in, but only to put it wide. But you feel 2-0 and this match would be wrapped up. But at 1-0, there's always the chances. They've lived on their luck a little bit, have Kashima Antlers. Not once, not twice, but 3 times on this occasion. Final shot when it comes in, forcing a decent save from Ishikawa.
Great save from Ishikawa. But look, we're talking about the delivery in the box, hit the crossbar, and then you've got great defending again from the Japanese. It bounces back, a great turn, and that was a really tremendous save by Ishikawa. Knocks it out into the danger area. Didn't knock it back into the crowd, and a very good save. Really, he came to his age as the game went on.
And then a free header once again. It's Cabrera. He's the one who had the shot saved a moment earlier. You've got to mark better. Yeah,
and the difference, like I say, the difference is the physicality. They need to make sure they get at least a challenge on there, but that's what they're trying to capitalise on, Estudiantes. And as the game progressed, you can see the Japanese, this kind of intricate play happened late in the game, not enough, but this is the kind of thing that as they believe in their philosophy, the Japanese, they'll continue to play their football, they'll try and play the diamonds, albeit against a very tough and good defensive unit of Estudiantes.
All the stats are with Estudiantes, 56% possession. They've had more shots on target and off, 2 corners to naught. There's not been a dirty foul in the game. Estudiantes deserving of the lead, but Kashima Antlers certainly not out of this. Let's just look at where the shots came from. And we'll look firstly at, well, it's quite easy to look at the Kashima one. They just had the one shot right near the end from Isuzu. So let's go down the other end. They've only got into the penalty area on those 4 occasions. I think that's the frustrating thing.
Yep, 100%. And there's been about 15 crosses into the area, but only those 4 attempts have been really anything they think they can take tangible that out of those the percentage-wise.
Okay, so it's 1-0 to Estudiantes at half-time, but Kashima are coming back into this game. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time with the second half of the Frenz International Cup semi-finals. To the Frenz International Cup, it's the semi-final stages, and there's going to be a change for Kashima Antlers. We're going to see Yusi Mastaka come on up front for Ishizu. And Ishizu is the man who got the only shot in the first half for Kashima. So obviously the nosebleed territory is was him to be substituted. But Alistair Edwards, you were talking about possibly 1 or 2 personnel changes for the Japanese side, but not for Estudiantes, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yep, I think you know, they have to change things. They've got to make sure that they can just sort of change the chess pieces, so to speak, to see if they can open up, see if someone can do something different. But don't be surprised, there's going to be some in another 5 or so minutes, some changes for Estudiantes.
So second half is underway. Here's the one there to Cabrera, who had 2 of the best openings for Estudiantes in the first 45 minutes. They lead courtesy the 1 goal from Juan Apolaza. Went through the team lineups just once they settle down, see if there's any changes, like to keep an eye on any personnel and tactical changes you're seeing, particularly from Kashima Antlers, Alistair.
Estudiantes are just going about what they did in the first half. Everything's exactly the same. Just now looking to see what Kashima Antlers, what they've done to change things. Usually they will just change positional, knowing the Japanese. Very, very seldom do they change their structure.
And Mastaka looks like he's just dropped in as a centre forward, a straight replacement for Ishizu. In the meantime, Diaz, who's the deep-lying midfielder, to fight through some bags of possession, the centre-back. Adin. Humada.
Once again, the delivery into those ones, trying to get the diagonals into the 2 tall timber up front, and Barrera and Apoloza. This time the delivery wasn't great, so they haven't changed their game plan at all. Have Estudiantes hopefully looking for an early, see if they can get an early goal in the second half to
Adin nearly following through, but Akuna had done well. Akuna Agumada, and for once he'd driven a decent ball in. You were critical of his crossing in the first half, but that wasn't a bad ball in from the number 7.
Needed to lift his game in terms of that, but it's been a great battle with him and Arakawa in the first half, and the only thing missing from Ahamada was the delivery into the box.
Ishikawa had a very solid first 45. Arakawa does well. Hidetsu. Hidetsu on the ball. Shinozaki looks to his right. Staka. Hidetsu. Hidetsu, but a little bit too tight. So the lineups as we have them. Francesconi in goal for Estudiantes. From the back 4, 4 is Adin, 2 Foyt, 6 Cabrera, 3 Diaz, 20 Carrasco, 5 Gomez in midfield. Wide right is Akuna Ahumada, who has 7. Wide left is Carlo Latanzio, my favourite, who has 11. Big Bruera, 18. And Apolaza, number 9. Here is Latanzio. He looks like he's just holding something back, Carlo Latanzio.
Yeah, he does. It just seems like they're just trying to ease into it, and maybe he's waiting for his comrade and Sosa to come on off the bench so they can do the usual run the havoc in midfield and wide areas.
Yeah, he's not an out-and-out winger, Latanzio, is he? So just for him to be the supplier of crosses, maybe might not suit it.
Just change their formula to accommodate his system.
Akuna, lovely ball, Akuna! Just wide Bruera.
You talk about what a good delivery into the box there from Akuna. And again, that one, you're half expecting that to hit the back of the net from Barrera. But again, near post, far post, attacking the ball. And the keeper wouldn't have had a chance with that. Ishikawa just watched it go past his post.
It still is the most effective ball, isn't it? The cross from near the byline.
That's exactly what we mentioned about the stats. There's been a lot of balls into the area, but only 4 where there have been some good opportunities.
Sudo, the flag is up, must have been tight. Staka was playing along the shoulder of the back man.
Be careful, looking dangerous. They've got a fresh player on in Mustaka. Here he is playing on the line, and it was very, very marginal. The linesman got it right in the end, but just. We're talking about the crosses into the box. They're playing crosses out here in the first half from too deep, and that was so easy for the Japanese, but yeah.
Ruera dispossessed by Nakamura. Nakamura's look forward for Shinozaki. Gives me a chance to give you the Japanese team. They've got Ishikawa in goal, a back four of Shira, Masazaki, Nakamura and Arakawa. Nishimoto and Demora are the holding midfielders. Sudo on the right, Idetsu on the left, Shinozaki in support of Mustaka up front. It is a young team, average age 17 in this under-19 tournament. Physically, they're giving a heck of a lot of weight to Estudiantes. Here's Latanzio. Ruera. A side-footed effort from Apalaza. The foot was high from Carrasco.
You see the ball into there. They're really good at holding the play up, those two strikers, and some good defending there. And some good desperation from the number 3 Nakamura. But these kind of things, you put your head in to make sure they can't get the good shot on goal. But defending very well is Kashima Antlers, especially considering the age of the players compared to the Argentinians.
Effort from Mustaka. He's looked busy since he came on, has Yuko Mustaka. Latanzio. Demora. Sudo. Diminutive, but baffled, and the throw-in has gone the way of Sudo. Match referee is right on the spot. He's the man who's made the decision.
The linesman didn't want to make a decision.
And then he's reversed it. And look at this, Latanzio is on the way. And Latanzio finds Bruera. That's blocked, and you know what, when your referee's indecisive like that, it can make all kinds of problems for the defensive team.
See the Japanese bench not happy at all with that, but look at the overlapping player there. Could have played it Bruera to the right. Tried to take a shot himself. Just slide the ball in there, but as the strikers do when they get outside the edge of the box, they won't have a shot. Really causing a bit of havoc up front. They needed that. They needed someone to hold the line and lead the line, I should say.
They've only played the 2 games in this competition because of Besiktas falling away. Oh, the goalkeeper's on Weber's line, and it is a gift for Apalaza. A second goal for Apalaza. Ishikawa trying to be positive, made the error, and is that the semi-final done and dusted?
Just what we talked about when they're attacking and the ball in behind the high line of the Japanese. Goalkeeper comes out and really shouldn't be coming out there. It was totally under control from his back defenders there. He should have stayed on his line. Good header from Apalaza, and equally cool, calm and collective finish to make it 2-0.
His second of the game, his 4th of the tournament, made very easy for him by Nishikawa.
We spoke about it before the break, that the Japanese have to be able to counter the counter. They were just up there attacking just 1 minute before. They got caught on the break. Some fine bit of work there from Apalaza, but some poor goalkeeping, must be said, from Ishikawa.
I remember many years ago, I was playing as a goalkeeper behind a back 3, and my coach allowed me 3 mistakes like that a year. I used them up inside the first 4 games.
It's just about judgment. Particularly a goalkeeper, you've got to make the right call. One little mistake and you get punished.
Flag stays down. Apalaza, who's on a hat-trick, but gift for Bruera! It should have been a gift for Bruera.
Once again, the high line of the Japanese here, you see it, but that's a great little ball in there from Apalaza, and Bruera almost got it on target. And it really, that could have been game over.
If you have just put that on to Bruera, what is your language like to your strike partner?
So, unlucky, my friend. Keep your head up. Try again. But he could have got himself. But again, put that down to a little bit of a bobble on the field.
Tatsuki Anuma is about to come on for Imura. Imura's one of the few players who've got a little bit of height, so Imura is on. Kuna looks for Bruera. Kimura's done well until he's tackled, picked up by Nishimoto. International versus Frenz United. That's clever from Hidetsu. That's coming up at 8:30 tonight. Istaka. Wriggling past Foyth, winning the... Oh, it's gone out of play.
He has been a bit of a handful since come on, Misaka. But here you've got it where Estudiantes looking very, very good on the break. Very dangerous.
Carrasco, his head finds Sudo. Round the outside, Sudo. There's been some impudent things to enjoy for Kashima.
Just like I said, the structure's been fantastic. A couple of little minor errors, but they get punished. Got caught with the ball for the first goal. In between, great cross it was, albeit. But here, this is where they're the most dangerous. Estudiantes is when they win the ball in the middle area.
Kuna Almada, defended once again by Nakamura. Arakawa. Sudo. Suzaki, nicely played. Hidetsu. The flag has stayed down. Shinozaki, he's got Sudo in the middle. Just too far ahead of Sudo. And Francesconi makes a good tackle. In fact, it's not Francesconi. It is a change. Yes, it is Francesconi.
Shows you that the game's opening up now. Unlucky not to get at least a shot on target there.
The header is in. Back across goal. Shinozaki has pulled Kashima back into the game.
We're just about to say, I'm not sure where the goals are going to come from. And that is the first goal conceded by Estudiantes in the whole tournament. And again, some good little wing play from this little number 10. And that's a wonderful ball into there. And who'd have thought that you'd get a headed goal from the Japanese against the tall timber of Estudiantes? It's great to see.
That ball from the byline once again. Shinozaki.
Fantastic header. Good cushion header past the keeper.
So, half an hour to play. We thought that second goal had really opened the floodgates for Estudiantes, but you write off Japanese teams and Kashima Antlers at your peril.
They just keep on doing what they do very, very well. They believe in their philosophy, but it could have been 3-0 just earlier with Rivera just missing. And now it's game on.
Great point, that Barrera miss could come back to haunt Estudiantes. There must be a winner here today. If Kashima can get themselves an equaliser, we would go into extra time and penalties if needed.
The two-line scoreline is always one that causes a lot of conjecture. You concede one, you're under a bit of pressure.
Latanzio, that's better. He's looking for Barrera. Arakawa. Hidetsu. Pushed aside by Gomez. Gomez. Oh, well done, goalkeeper.
Well under control, the ball was out before he hit it, but it's those balls from Latanzio, just previous, this one's here, they're the ones that really they need to do more often. The ball gets cleared, and from the ensuing one, when you're playing from crosses from this far away, it's just easier for the goalkeeper in that instance. Just managed to watch it go over the net.
Here's the second goal, and the goalkeeper's, oh dear.
Yeah, he shouldn't have come out for that. It was a poor error of judgment. But again, a good little header past the keeper there and a calm bit of finishing. But listen, on that, they were literally in the attacking zone. And you talked about how they can defend better against the counter-attack in the first half. That's something they needed to discuss with the Kashima Antlers coaching staff. And they got hit with a sucker punch.
That made it 2-0. Since then we've had a goal back just before the hour. Lovely header from Shinozaki. Latanzio's ball. Good hands in the end because Barrera was bearing down on Ishikawa.
He just managed to get in front. He would have just deflected that past him. Good bit of hands from Ishikawa.
It's quite a breeze going left to right in favour of Kashima just at the moment, and it's enough to make a difference to the game.
Who has made a difference too is the number 19 has come on, and Mustaka. He's really small, but he's putting a lot of pressure on the defence of Estudiantes. So not having your own way. It shows what a bit of fresh legs can do in the right time, the good introduction, so a good move from the coaching staff of the Japanese.
Latanzio. Just the face of goal. Apalaza on a hat-trick. Just couldn't keep a difficult chance down.
You mentioned before about Latanzio, he's a bit quiet, but now he's really coming to his age. He's put some great crosses in. And that's a good effort from Apalaza. Just very, very difficult skill with that to try and keep it down. Just has managed to do it.
And here's your pal, Thomas Montiel. Looks like he's coming on. Indeed he is for Akuna Ahumada. So Montiel will just patrol that right-hand side.
He was in the first game. It was absolutely brilliant flying. Frenz United were able to counter that in the second game by putting Ape Malanda against him. He's so quick. It's a clear intent that the Argentinians realise they need another goal.
Still no sign of Souza, still no sign of a change of tactics. Played over an hour. First very, very tight on the back of a stacker.
Sosa plays, they play a lot of their football more in the middle, and that's where the Japanese strength is in their little combinations through the midfield with their tight, technically gifted players. So they're trying to make sure that they keep it away from that central area, keeping the ball in the wide areas like it is now, and relying on their wingers.
Latanzio.
Latanzio's now starting to get a bit of a second wind.
Diaz. Ruera. Total clear, adding first chance for Montiel. Daniel Montiel, lovely ball, easy header. Latanzio in from the left wing, makes it 3-1. And you've got to put it down to another error of judgment from Ishikawa.
Helps too when you've got a bit of quality from the wide areas, but look at that. If you're going to come for the ball, you have to come and get it. The defenders are hoping you come out there and be nice and commanding. Error of judgment, like you say, and that's just an easy header in the end. From Latanzio, coming in, ghosting in at the far post. And it's 3-1. You find it hard now for Kashima Antlers to come back from that.
Latanzio took his while to get involved in the game. He scored his second goal of the tournament. Surely that would be enough to put Estudiantes into Wednesday's final against either Frenz or Internacional. But again, right off Japanese teams at your peril.
Just shows the introduction of Montiel. He played that beautiful cross inside. Just shows it added a bit of quality because he's one of the players that Veron mentioned. He sees he's destined to bigger and better things. Like we mentioned previously, to get the crosses coming in from those areas, great, but you also expect your keeper to make a few more. So you think about it, the keeper's made 2 errors of judgment, and they're the 2 goals that are separating the teams at the moment.
Try to defend the keeper. On both situations, he's trying to be proactive. He's trying to be positive. So if there's an error, you'd rather make it than that than a glaring handling error or something.
Yeah. We try and be that, be proactive as a keeper and even as a player. And you've got to learn from those mistakes, and these youngsters have to learn from those type of mistakes. And he knows that. I think there's no requirements from the coaching staff, as long as the players can learn from those type of errors.
Change. Big Bruera is going to come out, and now we're going to perhaps see the change in formation. Just the one lead striker, because Civetti is a midfielder. He normally plays alongside Ivan Gomez. Enable Carrasco to be number 10, so we're going to be denied Emmanuel Souza today. Civetti will come on.
Again, this may be a situation because he has rotated his squad extremely well as the Estudiante coaching staff. Maybe he wants to keep him. Now he sees the score as it is. Express anything for the final.
Hidetsu wins the throw-in. 25 minutes on the clock. Estudiantes 3, Kashima 1. Estudiantes won all of their group games. They start off with a 4-0 win over Suwon Samsung Blue Wings. They're 2-0 against a doughty Perth Glory, a young Perth Glory, and probably the game of the tournament so far, the 2-0 against Frenz United. Here's the Kashima goal, though. This got them back into it, and great work from Sudo.
Yeah, you see the defenders trying to come inside. He should have been holding him and not jumping in, but that ball into the area is fantastic, right in the good area. And 3 Estudiantes defenders around him, rises like a salmon, so to speak, and the best thing about it, he knocks it straight past the keeper. Keeper's wrong-footed, and copybook header from a great goal.
That's the goal that we thought would really give us a really close last 20 minutes.
Had a really good chance before that as well. They broke extremely well.
I tried Sudo. Ball was just in ahead of Sudo. Carrasco to Ivan Gomez. Latanzio. Carrasco.
So now they've gone back to their more traditional way of playing.
Latanzio's got strength. Goes past Sudo. Oh, well played, young Sudo. That's really good. Tsubasa Sudo. Not much of him.
Excellent bit of defending from against a very, very good left winger in Latanzio. But the one thing about the Japanese, they won't give up. They still think they've got a chance.
Carrasco. There's no Bruera to aim for, so some of the aerial threat has gone. Relatively easily dealt with. Foyth. Adin. Carrasco.
The Estudiantes reacted very positively after conceding their first goal in the tournament.
Sudo finds Shearer. Can't keep it in play.
Let's see, he gets control of the central part of the midfield now because the Estudiantes have gone back to their traditional 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. Civetti just playing in behind Apaloza. Apalaza.
Putting your scouting hat on, anybody from Kashima really impressed? Really caught your eye?
Sudo has done a lot of work. You see him just do a fantastic bit of defensive work there, but I think they're struggling to get on the ball a lot to show what they can do. And And a lot of that's to do with the intense pressure, the age difference.
You get two. Classic example there. Nearly got away, but was under immediate pressure from Montiel. They win it back though, and then Idetsu slides it forward until Foyth takes the ball off Nishimoto.
One thing that's most impressive about the Kashima Antlers is the structure, the formation, the willingness to push players forward. They're being caught a few times by attacking like this now. This is where they've been at the most dangerous, to be honest.
Shinozaki! This time the cross from Mustaka.
Just wouldn't pick it from a Japanese team to having their best chances from crosses into the box. That was a good header from Shinozaki. They still think they're in with the game, that's for sure, but look at that. Good combinations out wide, good understanding, and these type of crosses that coming away from the keeper so they can't come out. And this time the keeper showed a good example of what you need to do. Stick on your line, allowing your defenders to do the hard work.
Coming the other way, Juan Diaz. Latanzio already scored today. Latanzio, peach of a pass and wide from Apolaza. That was for his hat-trick.
Copybook play there. That is a tremendous ball in there from Latanzio. See him here, look at it, just in between. The keeper can't come out, it just goes past a lunging defender. And Apollozo, he tries to guide it in and he just goes past the post. The keeper would have had it, I think, but his foot was in the right area.
What a ball in from Carlo Latanzio.
That is what, just sheer class. He's really come the last half an hour. He's just shown what you've been speaking about from what we've seen in the other tournaments, in the games in the tournament. Look at the combinations here, beautiful.
Glasgow just a little bit too far ahead of Carlo. Now the show tricks are coming out, the one-touch moves, the confidence. Sudo. Palazzo will chase. Nishikawa this time comfortably in possession into the final 20 minutes. Would you make any more changes?
Well, I would. I think if you look on the sidelines, you've got the likes of Sosa. They need to get some rhythm before the final. He's the man that makes everything tick. It's all well and good keeping him off, but I think it's important they get a bit of game time. And I think he'll finish the game with the team that he would want to start in the final.
So we've got an official referee-sanctioned drinks break on this occasion. The change is going to be made exactly as you saw it. I think it's going to be Ivan Gomez coming off. Emmanuel Souza coming on. Two very different kinds of players. Now here's the third goal, Latanzio. And his movement, we've criticised the goalkeeper, but Latanzio's still got to finish.
Yep, and you can see here again, the Japanese are around the box. They're watching the ball, and he looked at the wrong time. The right back that the goalkeeper's come out. The defenders were hoping he was going to come and get the ball, but in saying that, tremendous cross from the introduced winger in Montiel. And the goal was scored by the other winger who's coming in on the blind side. But again, you've got to make sure that you see these things coming across you. Look over your shoulder, and by the time they looked over their shoulder, it was too late.
There is a change. Souza, who's been an exciting talent, but rather kept in cotton wool, we suspect, all the way for the final. I'd be astonished if he doesn't start against either Frenz or International on Wednesday's final at 8:30.
Again, Montiel, you would think that they were going to 100%, I think they would start. He's done extremely well as Coach Gustavo in rotating his squad. That's what it's all about at this level as well, because they're playing so many games every second day, and the humidity. They want to make sure that they keep everyone as fresh as possible, and it helps if you've got a good quality amongst that.
Actually, they've decided to change. It's going to be Latanzio who comes off. That was a late change, because definitely it was going to be Gomez, but Latanzio's maybe said, I've done my fill today.
Yes.
Nice ice bath that go down very nicely.
He looked a bit tired in the first half, and he'd come of age now. Maybe the coaches said, listen, we'll potentially bring you off. So here's another one. You need to make sure your attacking players are fresh coming into the big games.
Souza is going to drop into the number 10. Carrasco will move out to the left. Gomez moving out to the left wing. We'll sort that out in just a moment. LaPlata guilty of a swing on Shearer.
Looks like he's put Sosa more on the right-hand side. He's often been given a lot of license that way.
Yeah, Gomez has come out on the left, so Gomez is being allowed away off his leash.
It's probably because they wanted to give the Latanzio a bit of a break.
Slide rule pass, nicely played. Shudo set up the goal from this kind of position.
Skill with this.
Diaz wasn't going to be fooled twice though.
Defensively now as well, Estudiantes.
Corner kick, first of the night for Kashima.
Like I mentioned, we always talk about the attacking flair of the South Americans. This is all those type of players, the Maradonas of age. We always forget they very, very rarely concede goals as well. One goal so far in this tournament. Traditionally do extremely well. So they've got a great defensive structure. They can really fight, but they've also got that attacking, skillful players. Which, to be honest, in this part of the world we lack, don't we? We're struggling at the Malaysian national teams. Big discussions about that now.
You're allowed to say that in your position. Just observe.
It's been looking to nationalise mixed heritage players to see if they can come and fill that void.
In the meantime, Arakawa. 5 in the penalty area. Mastaka on the goalkeeper. The best headed clearance and best pass either from Edetsu. Arakawa just being held up because Adin took a knock in defending that corner.
These type of players, the ones that you'll read about 5 or 6 years' time, the likes of Adin, Foyth, may not be the ones that attract all the attention, but when you watch them day in, day out, they're absolutely brilliant defenders. Players now getting themselves a well-needed drink to try and recuperate somewhat, because it's been a very, very taxing tournament, a very high-quality tournament. The tempo of the games have been so high. It's fantastic how the teams that come here, they really want to win these tournaments. They take it with such... Speaking to Estudiantes, they say that this is the crucial one for them because it's the last tournament they have before they have to offer contracts to the players.
Yeah. I suspect there's 3 or 4 certainties, but there's quite a few others then. I was unaware of that kind of pressure. 1 or 2 playing for their professional careers.
Exactly. You can imagine that in the Argentina, the rewards that you get. Last tournament, 6 of the players progressed and got professional contracts. 1 now playing for the Olympic national team of Argentina. The literal thing, their whole focus on here is to come and win the tournament and also to judge which players can step up to be offered contracts. What an incentive that is.
Diaz throwing his body on the line just to say, I want a contract, please, coach. Here's Montiel.
You can see the whole dynamics of the game has changed now. They're keeping the ball, keeping possession. None of this long ball type game. But let's face it, it was a part of a structure, it was part of the tactics, and it worked. But they have the ability ability to do and change things, ability to mix things up.
Meantime, while they're keeping possession at the back as Souza gets his first touch, Kashima working hard, sticking rigidly to their metronomic-like back and forth defence.
You see it now with the Japanese. It's very, very difficult. In the central areas, it's hard for the likes of Souza to get on the ball. And that's why the coach used the other tactics to make it a more direct game, because it's so well organised. You see them on the screen there. They've got many Japanese players in the central areas. There's wide areas where they can capitalise on, and that's what they tried to do and change the tactics.
Shinozaki nearly won it back there from Adin. With 10.5 minutes to go. Kashima needing something that they haven't looked like producing thus far. They've created, obviously, the chance that scored the goal and a couple of other shots on goal. 2 on target, one of which was the goal.
They're definitely having a go. The introduction of Mistaka, fresh legs. They've just bombed on another 5 metres or so to put a lot of pressure on the ball, and this is a situation now. Sosa wants to get on the ball, and this is how he wants to play. So now they want to try and get him, see if he can get into the final third. Look at the good structure of the Japanese.
Souza having to come very deep just to get on the ball.
So he wants to get touched on the ball and see what's happening, and he'll try and make things happen. I think a very, very smart move by the coach Gustavo from Estudiantes, because they would have really struggled if they had to try and break down this team, or struggled a little bit more, because it's very, very tight in these areas here. What they're not good at is probably the one-on-one in wide areas, and the balls crossed from wide.
Civetti, Adin, Montiel, 2 in the penalty area. Montiel just dispossessed nicely by Arakawa. Nenedetsu. I think he'd done anything to warrant a free kick against him there. No yellow card today so far. It's been a very friendly semi-final.
Yep, Freud went down too early. They got nowhere near the ball, and really should have been play on there. And into the last 10 minutes, can they get a goal? Kashima Antlers is going to make things very interesting. Kashima have done one thing that no other team has been able to do so far, and score against them. So hats off to their philosophy, and who would have thought they would have scored a headed goal from across against the likes of Foyth and Cabrera.
Lovely ball.
Sudo on the ball is great technique he's got for someone so small in stature.
Kashima, their road to this stage, they drew 0-0 with Chonburi. They lost 1-0 to Internacional, pressing through on goal difference. Zitas, the other team who were meant to make up Group B, sadly deciding to leave the tournament early. I don't know who benefits in that situation at all. Montiel onto Souza, lovely header. Montiel looks for Apalaza. Another chance for the hat-trick.
There's the trio of players that I've been speaking about in the tournament. That is fantastic, and that should have been another goal from Apaloza, but that all started from Souza. Absolutely brilliant cushion header into the path of Montiel, and you would have thought that that ball was going to hit the back of the net, but what a great little thing. We talk about how good they are on the break, and that was just a classic example.
Apalaza in the end was trying to get it. He fancies a hat-trick, Apalaza. He fancies becoming the new top scorer of this competition. He's currently joint top with 4. Reza Karimi of Frenz United will be in action later on tonight.
There's one special play. He missed the last game against Estudiantes, and his absence was telling. They put on such a great show, Frenz, in the game. Really good, particularly in the second half. They had Karimi. He's very, very temperamental.
Idetsu. See Karimi in action tonight, and Frenz United as Idetsu pulled back, and Idetsu will pick up a yellow card there.
You can just see the injection of a little bit of quality in Montiel's, and the Sosa helps, because once they get in their full swing, and he's another one of those players that's going to go on to bigger and better things.
Side Idetsu, the captain, leading by example on that occasion. First yellow card. There will be a 3rd and 4th place game on Wednesday. That's the 4 o'clock kickoff. Usually the 2 losing semi-finalists will meet in there. So it looks like Kashima will be in that contest. Flag is up. Plaza knew it as soon as he started his run. Change for Kashima. And it's the end of Sudo, who set up their goal. And this is Kazuto Takazawa.
Good tournament from Sudo. Those players I like to watch because he's just such a great technician.
Mustaka.
Really pushing pace forward. They're really going for it, aren't they? Late stage in the tournament, lung-busting runs. This is where there's danger.
Plaza's got Souza, who's just the 10 yards offside.
Youthful exuberance. What I say is these instances when the Japanese have got the ball in the middle third is where they're most vulnerable, because when Estudiantes get the ball, they're just absolutely fantastic on the break, and they've got the players to do it. If we get a chance to see Sosa, we saw a glimpse of it with his cushion header. Montiel in before, but his ability to really pass inch perfect is a joy to watch.
One ball over the top, looking for the new man, Takazawa. And the flag is up. Baraza, he's a little bit too eager for that hat-trick.
Good defending at time from the back two there, particularly Mazazuka. He came, pushed out just at the right time. It's been a very enjoyable game. Good tactical battle. And I think the telling thing here is the 1 or 2 year age difference at this level is telling, and the quality in the front third.
Aiden sends that ball halfway up that vivid red stand over on the far side of Pasagudang, which has been the venue for the group games of Group A, and will also host the second semi-final and finals day on Wednesday. Pitch is beginning to show the wear and tear of a couple of monsoon-like storms earlier on.
It didn't help in the early stages of the tournament. It was, like you say, monsoonal. First game, particularly in the evening, was played in a huge amount of puddles.
The matches were played over the nice facility up at UTM near Skudai.
It's great to have these type of tournaments in Malaysia, and particularly in my back garden.
Chesconi had to be careful with how he distributed there, and it might still break. Referee doesn't give a foul there as Shinozaki hit the deck.
Growing in stature up there as the game's gone on. Kashima Antlers.
You've got to look back at the 2 goalkeeping errors which have cost them there. You don't want to point the finger at the goalkeeper Ishikawa, but if he only makes 1, then this is still a big game.
And also the first goal happened so early in the game. Great ball in there from Adin, great header. take away those, particularly those goalkeeping errors, then they've done extremely well. But just fantastic. I think most teams get better as tournaments go on, but Kashima Antlers have got better in this game as it's got on. A bit more belief. They're probably a bit shell-shocked at the bidding, a change in tactics. They probably weren't expecting that, to play with the two strikers.
They need something pretty special now. Obviously 3 goals in 1 minute plus injury time. I'll put your mortgage on it that won't happen, Alistair.
Particularly against such a really good defensive back four, defensive structure from, look at Montiel.
Got real pace, hasn't he, Montiel? See the problems with the pitch, and Montiel. Montiel's going to pick up a yellow card there, which is a little bit needless.
Just hope that is something that doesn't carry on into the next game. Just a quick look at your little record books. Not only are they good at going forward, but they really want to make sure they play to the last minute and get those tackles in.
3 minutes to play. Montiel becomes the second player to see yellow after Dedetsu. A bit of fatigue perhaps kicking in as Emmanuel Souza, oh what a peach of a pass onto Apolloza, and the goalkeeper Ishikawa. Well, credit to him, he's decided he's still going to be adventurous as a goalkeeper. His coach has given him carte blanche to do so.
A bit of skill there, a bit of replay from Sosa to show you his first touch is beautiful, guides it into areas, knocks a great ball in behind, inch perfect.
Diaz. Souza. Oh, he's very pretty until he passed the ball to Idetsu. And then gets the ball back from Idetsu. Diaz. Carrasco available. There's Souza. Dummy in the air. Apolaza. Other leaning into Masazuki.
Great battle of afternoon. Look at those two. Sure that Apolloza was trying to be big and strong. Masazuki trying to get in front of him, just couldn't do it. Got barged out the way. This shows, probably typifies the difference in strength between the two teams.
Arakawa. Well played from Foyth once again. He's been standout in the 3 games he's played Foyth. He missed the second game, the 2-0 against Perth Glory. And the Estudiantes completely changed their starting 11. Well, 10 of the 11 changed.
Really good rotation of the squad, just makes them a bit more fresher.
Plaza. He's got a nice touch as well, but not as silky as Emmanuel Souza.
Shows they can mix it up. When they need to play direct, they can, depending on the game situation. And they've got the players, they've got the silkiness.
Sibet. Montiel. Oh, still Montiel. Still Montiel. He thought he was dragged down on the edge of the penalty area. The referee was right on point though. So Souza.
Controlling the tempo.
Inside Emmanuel Souza.
When he plays, he's the boss. You can see all of the players around him giving the ball.
Final whistle goes. Estudiantes have repeated last year. They got to the final where they played Internacional, where they're through to the final once again this year. They've won this one by 3 goals to 1. 2 goals from Juan Apolaza and a couple of goalkeeping errors from Ishikawa. 1 goal from Carlo Latanzio frustration for Kashima Antlers, but a deserved victory, Alistair Edwards.
Yep, definitely a deserved game. A very enjoyable game to watch. Good performance by Kashima Antlers, but just too strong Estudiantes.
We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll have full highlights of Frenz International Cup semi-final. Estudiantes 3, Kashima Antlers 1. Now know one finalist for the Frenz International Cup on Wednesday night. It will be Estudiantes de LaPlata of Argentina, because they've overcome Japan's Kashima Antlers by 3-1 in the first semi-final. The first goal coming as early as the 3rd minute. One Apolaza heading home after a lovely ball in from Adin and Alistair Edwards alongside him in commentary. We thought that would open the floodgates.
Yeah, we did, because they changed their way they're playing, and Adin forward here knocks a great ball into the box there, and a flying header. And it was a great start for Juan Apolaza for this game. But we thought that was going to be, they changed their sort of formation. They had the two big guys up front in Apolaza and Barrero, and we thought it was going to go to great effect.
But it didn't. I mean, they only scored that one goal in the first 45 minutes. Here's what we thought. I mean, they've got the two big men. Barrera's the front man, Apolaza coming in behind him, and they've got a physical advantage that you can physically see.
And if you look at the Japanese defence, there's nothing much more you can do there, apart from the fact they were just caught with a fantastic ball into the area, and a striker who was attacking the ball. And they're retreating. Really good delivery.
Into the second half, it was 0-0, and then a rush of blood to the head from Ishikawa. Yes, you want him to be positive, but he's got to get the ball if he comes that far off his line.
Yeah, that's for sure. The thing is, they were just attacking in those situations. They were caught with a great ball in behind. Really high line, but what is the keeper doing here? He's really left his defence stranded. He should have stayed in his line, but it ended up being another cool finish from Juan Apolaza, and that made it 2-0. But look at that, they're really good. But the keeper really does not need to come off out of his area there. He should have retreated, because the defenders had it all under control.
So an easy gift. That made it 2-0, and we thought that would open the floodgates. It didn't, because I'll come down the other end. Sorry, we'll have another look at the work of Apolaza. I suppose we're criticising Ishikawa, but Apolaza, he does well anyway.
He does. The great little header here. You see him knock it past him, but you see Masazuka, he had him. He was really nice under control. He would have had him under pressure, and you've got to make sure that the keeper the striker beats the keeper, not the other way around.
Then Kashima upset the apple cart. Shinozaki with a peach of a header.
Yeah, who would have thought it's the first goal they've conceded in the whole tournament. A fantastic cross and a really good header. The defender here, you talk about mistakes, he shouldn't have jumped in front, shielded it away, and that's a great little ball in there to the far post. And got three players around him. He leaps up there, and the keeper's coming towards the near post. He knocks it back behind him, and that is a tremendous goal. And then we thought, game on.
But it wasn't, because Kashima, they then gave the ball away a little bit cheaply. Montiel would eventually get the ball on the right-hand side. It's a great cross, but again, we must point fingers at Ishikawa. The goalkeeper's either got to get a touch or stay on his line.
You talk about the substitutions, you talk about great crosses and a good header, but again, Ishikawa will see that again, and if he's going to come out there, he has to be able to do it, has to be 100%, because your defenders around looking in the sky saying, you've called for the ball, you need to get it. But in saying that, a really good cross and a great run from the left in there from Latanzio.
Yeah, there is Latanzio. He makes the run. He's from back to front. He's attacking the back post, which is what a left-sided player should do. and if the goalkeeper misses it, he's in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, when you see Shearer there, he's not looking, he just had a little glance over his shoulder. It was too late already. Latanzio was already past him, and the keeper's caught in no man's land.
You look at the statistics as well, 13 attempts on goal to 3. 3-1 in terms of corners, 56% possession, a couple of yellow cards near the end, all the stats in favour of Estudiantes de LaPlata. They've earned their place in the final, and look how often they've got themselves into the area. Everything's in the penalty area.
A lot better than the first half. There was only 4 in the first half, but this time they got their crosses in from the wide areas, particularly with Latanzio. He was very prevalent coming into those areas, and also Montiel, and it just shows you 13 shots to 3 or 2 from the from Kashima Antlers.
Shinazaki, he got 2 headers in, 1 was a goal, 1 forced a save. So Estudiantes are through. They've beaten Kashima Antlers. Tonight at 8:30, got the second semi-final. Looking forward to this. Sports Club International from Brazil, the defending champions, up against a fully strengthened Frenz United, the host. That's at 8:30 tonight. Do hope you can join us then.